At the sake of sounding like a bit of an old man, where the hell did last year go? Honestly, maybe it's just down to a lot of personal stuff that happened last year, or maybe someone actually is messing around with the space-time continuum, but it felt like 2024 just absolutely flew by like no year I've ever known. And even though it was quite a busy year, I still managed to consume a heck of a lot of entertainment. So with that in mind, I want to run through the best books, films, TV shows, and games that I consumed throughout last year. But before we get into all of that, I just want to say right off the bat, Happy New Year! And if you want to watch more videos on storytelling across games, books, films, and more, then why not hit that subscribe button while you're here. So let's kick things off with books. Right, already this is going to go slightly off the rails because I gotta be completely honest, all of the books that I read last year, none of them actually came out in 2024. I'm a bit of a late to the game reader, so I spent most of the last 12 months catching up on all of the books that I've been meaning to read for, well, for as long as I can remember. But particularly last year, I went on a bit of a bender with travel books, and there were two books in the genre that really stood out to me: Wild by Cheryl Strayed and The Places in Between by Rory Stewart. For the former, there's already been so much said about this book to the point where I don't think I could really add anything new to the discussion other than to say that really, you just have to read it. Wild isn't just about one woman's journey through the Pacific Crest Trail, it's about the heartbreak that we all carry with us and how we journey ourselves to get beyond it. The Places in Between, on the other hand, works a bit more like an historical document, as Stewart, long before he was an MP, walked from one end of Afghanistan to the other in the early 2000s, providing incredible insight to what the country is actually like on the ground and the personalities of the people who inhabit it. It's a genuinely eye-opening book that really more people should be reading. Moving on to film and TV, and I've got to be honest here again, I didn't watch that many films last year. In fact, I ended up seeing Deadpool and Wolverine twice in the cinema, which should probably tell you which film I enjoyed the most. But for a more substantial viewing, it was the adaptation of Small Things Like These that really spoke to me, with Cillian Murphy's subdued performance doing the book justice and representing the inner turmoil of its main character. Last year, however, I had my eyes glued more to the TV than I ever did the cinema screen, and in fact, there were two shows that I absolutely binge watched, and that says a lot because I don't binge watch anything, and those two shows were Penguin and Rivals. Starting with the Colin Farrell-led series, I had absolutely no expectations for the show. I really only put it on just out of sheer curiosity to see how the world that was depicted in 2022's The Batman would translate into a TV show format. And what I got was one of the most mind-bending crime dramas I've ever seen, and one of those rare examples of a protagonist that isn't morphed into an anti-hero to fit conventional storytelling methods. No, the Penguin is just pure evil, and the show does not shy away from reminding you of that. Rivals, on the other hand, was a completely different but no less compelling experience. At its core, the show is about warring TV studios in the 1980s in their battle for supremacy. But what really makes the show is its casting. There's a great mix of revered British talent and plenty of newcomers, all of whom are given their chance to shine. Heck, Danny Dyer is in it, and because he isn't typecast for a change, he ends up being one of the show's best characters. Honestly, it probably has one of the best ensemble casts I've seen since Game of Thrones, and really, I just can't recommend it enough. Rounding things off with last year in gaming, I gotta be honest, I probably played my Switch more than any other console last year, and maybe that was subconscious as, let's face it, the Switch 2 is about to drop at any point now. But the point is, if you haven't played The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, you are missing out big time. This is one of the best Zelda games to have ever graced any Nintendo console, and despite the fact that I've never been a big fan of top-down Zelda games, it completely converted me. The gameplay loop of summoning allies and objects to try and overcome paths and battles is really rewarding and inspires creativity in a way that I really haven't seen since, I guess, Breath of the Wild. In fact, it takes quite a lot of gameplay cues from Tears of the Kingdom, so if you're a fan of that game, then really, I cannot recommend this one enough. So, Echoes of Wisdom is a must-play, but there was only one game last year that really floored me, and that was Astro Bot. As a 90s kid, I just love a good platformer. In fact, some of my earliest gaming memories are of playing and failing constantly at Crash Bandicoot, and Astro Bot just understands the fun of it all. Levels are like toy boxes just begging to be explored, and every little colourful detail just vies for your attention. At times it can be difficult to take in the splendour of it all, but it really is just such a fun time. And yeah, if you just like your games to be simple, fun and engaging, then really this game is made for you. So that was my 2024, and if you've read, watched or played any of the things that I've mentioned here, then please let me know in the comments below, and also let me know of any things that you recommend that you consumed last year. But above all, thank you for watching.